Hello everybody, this is Steve from Old Boy Moto. Welcome back guys to another episode of Old Boy Moto Australia. So we're basically going to keep going from where we left off. We were talking about the upgrades on the Harley Davidson Dyna. So my suspension from YSS has arrived. So we'll be having a look at that in a couple of seconds. But basically what we'll be doing is the suspension fit out. We'll be direct changing the fork springs, and we'll be doing the twin shocks on the back. So here we have the YSS suspension for the Harley. What we've got is the direct fit out for the fork springs. These are progressive spring. They'll give a much better ride on the front end. There is an option for a kit that also has a valve, and it's an adjustable valve. You adjust it, I think, when you fit the valve inside the fork, but I opted just for this one. This is a pretty simple fit out, and I think this will do the job very well, just to upgrade those front springs on the stock Harley springs. Also, we've got the 13.5-inch adjustable rear shocks, the twin shocks. And I'd just like to give a shout out to YSS Suspension Australia, supplied by Suspensions R Us, and there's a guy down there called Adam who is most helpful. If you need suspension, give Adam a ring. They've got a great website, and as you can see there's a number on there to call. So without any further comment, I might start getting this bike set up and we'll start putting this gear on. Well, we're going to start with the front end. So I'm going to leave the bike on the ground because I'm going to be removing these nuts. Now there are 1 3/8, I should say caps, the fork caps. Now just to not mark these, because they're very easily marked, they're a nice chrome, I'm going to put this glove over here, and the socket will fit over it, and hopefully that'll stop any marks. Now the idea is to keep this socket as flat and as straight as you can. You don't want that to slip off, because what it'll do, it'll just shear the top of the caps, and you don't want that. It's a beautiful chrome, so that's pretty tight. So we don't want the bike on the jack. You're just as likely to pull the bike off the jack when you put some pressure on that. So this is a pretty tight one guys. So what I've got on it is a bar which will help me loosen that up. So put some pressure on. Okay, so that's loose, and that's all I wanted. Okay, so both those fork caps are loose now, and as you can see on the glove there's quite a few marks on there, but the caps are fine. So just that little bit of rubber glove on there makes all the difference. So now what I'll be doing is putting the bike on the jack, and as you can see where I've positioned it there is right at the front where I can't be sort of doing any damage. Always check under your bike to make sure you're not running wires around. Hang on, it's whistling at me, so I better get this organised. We haven't got the, here we go. Right, I forgot my fob, sorry guys. It needs to be within the vicinity of the bike. So what I'll do is I'll lean this over onto the jack, and it should start to lift it, no problems. There it is. So what I'm trying to do is get a spot where I can take those out. I'll try and just have those on the ground, have the tyre on the ground without any pressure up into the fork. I don't want the springs to shoot out, so that's pretty good there. Once that front wheel starts slipping a bit, there we go, that's fine. So what I'll do now is I'll undo the fork caps fully. What'll happen is there'll be a little bit of pressure there, and the spring will force that back out. Okay guys, so I've just unwound that one. As you can see, I've put a cloth over the bike just in case. I'm still using my rubber glove to keep those caps nice and clean. So that's one off. and all I've done with this tool is unwind it and keep the pressure down on it so nothing pops out. Right, so I've got my new spring here, the progressive one, ready to go in. So what I'll do is I'll take the spacer out and just make sure that we keep things clean. Okay, so I've got a little magnet here, so we've got a spring. What I'll do is I'll put it there so I know that that goes down into it. And we'll try and get the spring out with this, guys. It should work okay. That's a little magnetic stick I've got. And there's the spring. And as you can see, it's going to piss a bit of oil everywhere. So, okay, so those new progressive springs have gone in there. And we've tightened the caps back up. I didn't have a torque for that for those caps. So just a firm tightness is enough. There's plenty of thread in there. These usually won't loosen up. So they're all in there, the YSS progressive front springs, and we'll go to the back. Yeah, so I'm going to have to lift the back up a little bit now to put the back suspension on, so the bags will come off. And I'm going to use this little scissor jack with a block under it. Under there somewhere we'll find a spot where we can just raise the bike up so that suspension is about opened right up, and then we'll continue to undo it. So I've left the bike on the front jack just to stabilise it. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I've had to take a bit of stuff off. The bags have come off, the seat has come off. I'm just about to do the top shock mounts. I've already undone that one. This one here is an Allen key, which I'll go and get, and we'll take the bottom one off. And they're looking pretty good. There's no weight on that. The wheel's only just scraping the ground, so they're fully extended. That's what you want. Okay guys, so I'll put one on. Haven't tightened it up yet. Just wanted to see how things go. There was a lot of spacers and stuff that came with the shocks. They're not needed in this application because these aren't an offset shock. They come in two variants, but they do supply all this stuff, so won't be needing all this. Yeah, so guys, I fitted these shocks as per the instruction sheet, and the instruction sheet that was in the box told me that I needed to fit them the same way as the old ones came off. So the stock shocks on the Dyna were fitted with the preload down the bottom. So that's your spring preload. The stock shocks had the preload on the bottom. Now these shocks, being emulsion shocks, sort of rang alarm bells, and I thought, I wonder if I have fitted them upside down. Going by the instruction sheet, well, you'd think no. So what I did is I rang Adam down at Suspensions R Us. I actually sent him an email, and he replied straight away and explained to me that no, that was not the case, that the shocks should be fitted with the spring preload upstairs on the top mount. So what I've done since the last clip is I've taken these shocks off. I've had to modify the little cover up there, just had to take out a little bit on both sides and made it a little bit wider to accommodate the top of the shock, and that's the way they should work. With emulsion shocks, you've got gas over the oil and all that sort of stuff, and they will leak and they won't work properly if they're upside down. So I'm glad I checked that. And guys, that is the beauty of having or buying shocks off reputable people like Suspensions R Us, because you've got a reference point. You can get back to them and they can advise you on what's right in case you're not sure. So I'm really glad I checked that. We've got them around the right way and we're in business. Cheers.
too bad actually already. So I've noticed the height difference. It just feels like a completely different bike.
What a shame I couldn't get that microphone in the helmet working properly. I did go for quite a long ride, and I must say the suspension has transformed the bike. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, so it's been an interesting day with the shocks. I guess it highlights the importance of buying accessories and stuff from reputable people. In my case, Suspensions R Us. I was able to get back to Adam and let him know what was going there. So that's really good. So in the next video, guys, I'm hopefully going to have that microphone sorted out and get some on-road footage again, and also have the gaiters, the air filter and the driving lights ready to go. So I'll be able to go over that and share that with you. So I hope you've been enjoying it so far. So please take care on the road, share, like and subscribe these videos, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.